Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. If you're interested in subscribing to the channel and supporting it in that way, you can get a monthly subscription over at patreon.com. Over there, you get the daily forecast a day early. There's also special readings that are available only over there every month, and readings and things like that. You have to look at the different levels of subscription and decide which one is best for you, and then you can sign up for it. It's at patreon.com under Engelgeist. This is a daily forecast for the daily collective, so that means it's for everyone. It's a broad spectrum reading, therefore it's to be applied liberally, so to speak. Take what you need and leave the rest. Where it fits, use it for your own sort of support, guidance, validation. If it doesn't make any sense or doesn't fit with what's going on in your life, that's okay. You might just be working on something different. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. If you do decide to make decisions in your life after having watched any of my videos, know that those decisions are your own responsibility, and that you want to use your highest and best intelligence and intuition first and foremost, followed by anything you hear or pick up from here. If you have also another caveat I say is please don't take anything that I say over that of a professional in their field, like say a doctor or a lawyer or a therapist. Always listen to them first and foremost, and again, I'll just repeat it, use your own intelligence and intuition first and foremost. Alright, so let's get into this and see what's going on with the energy. What cards are going to come out today, what's at work in this background maybe that we can either tap into or be aware of to help facilitate more ease for ourselves. Let's see. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands. I feel like she showed up, didn't she show up like last week? She was like the beginning of a weekly card when we were with the other deck, maybe at the end of November. Anyways, the Queen of Wands, she's usually about sort of action. This Queen of Wands looks a little bit pissed to me. It's sort of interesting when you look at her face. Do you see that in her face? She looks a little bit, certainly determined, but maybe a little bit annoyed. Maybe we're have some frustrations with our situations right now. But let me tell you this, the Queen of Wands is not going to necessarily be somebody that sits idly by and lets themselves be taken advantage of or bothered or anything like that. When I think about this card, we have that Seven of Pentacles underneath it, but we also have that Hermit energy, which was the midweek energy, and we're in Tuesday, and we saw the Hermit yesterday. So I kind of feel like the Hermit is already here. That's why he showed up in yesterday's reading in Mondays. I feel like he's not only the midweek energy, but he's kind of carrying the whole first half of this week under his belt. When I think about that, that makes me think that there might be some planning going on behind the scenes, only because this Queen of Wands, she's always about sort of planning, a little bit about manipulation, but not ever in a bad way, in the sense that the Queen of Wands sort of goes about getting what she needs in a very intuitive, sort of graceful, hopefully graceful sort of way. She doesn't take no for an answer, is my impression, right? She goes out, she takes it, she'll use whatever means she needs to get it. If that means her intelligence, her sexuality, her, just her innate ability to sort of work a situation into her favor, she's going to do that, right? She has a little bit of an awareness of the spiritual side of things, or maybe even the darker side of things. That's always what that black cat represents for me when I'm looking at the Queen of Wands. So there is sometimes this attribute with this card for me about maybe sometimes being overzealous in our reactions, or maybe being selfish in some of those things. I don't feel like that's what this is about. If it is a level of selfishness, it's about taking that hermit time to ourselves and owning it, really making a decision to go after that and give that to ourselves. If that's the case, I think that that's an okay form of selfishness, right? It's about our own self-preservation, our own look into ourselves, our own sort of, and that is an action that we're taking. And that might be some of the, I don't want to say disgust that I see on this queen's face, but I feel like she's a little bit bothered, right? So if there's something that's bothering you, a situation, a person, something that's just not working in your favor that you're not happy with, That Hermit is saying maybe we need to withdraw from it, maybe we need to back off and learn something about ourselves. Not saying that we're at fault, but that maybe there's something we need to address within ourselves or learn about ourselves so that we can be free of said situation. The Queen of Wands will be all about the action and the plan to take care of that and to get herself beyond that, right? Wands is the element of fire and that of spirit. So she's connected to like sort of the other side or the other voices, right? She can kind of hear her higher intuition. She can act from that. With this Hermit energy around it, I feel like it's about quietly taking that action, not necessarily letting everybody know your every move or intention. I also feel like with her face sort of like this, it feels a little bit like we know clearly what we want, we know clearly why we want it. We may not clearly be saying that on purpose. It feels like that's sort of the determination I see in her face. I see a little bit of hurt in her face actually too. So if there's anything that's up for you guys where you're feeling hurt, misaligned, invalidated, and that's not normally a Queen of Wands sort of feeling, but I do feel that with this card and with that Hermit, that withdrawal that the Hermit presents, I feel like there could be some of that in the works for some of you. If there's a situation that's not giving you what you need and you're frustrated by it, I would say back off and formulate another plan. Trust your own planning skills, right? The Queen is very skilled in what she does. She knows how to work a situation. When I use the word manipulate, I don't mean it's a bad thing. I mean that she has her own sort of brand of magic and her own way to kind of pull strings and levers to get the results that she wants. It just might be a little bit more of a roundabout ride. Does that make sense? So if we're doing that and we're, putting a plan into effect quietly amongst ourselves, the Hermit will guide us, and the Hermit will also be that sort of deep internal knowledge that will get us there. Okay? So, and it will also sort of help to facilitate with this Queen, like he'll sort of ground her fiery nature or her, desire to sort of take action. I feel like that Hermit card will, even the early week card is a Seven of Pentacles, so again, we're talking about earth energy. There's a lot of earth energy around this Queen between the Hermit and the Seven of Pentacles, so it's like keeping her grounded and not letting her necessarily maybe lash out or be too impulsive, make a move too quickly or too verbally, right? There's sort of like something that she needs to withhold so that we can continue to do whatever we're doing this week and execute whatever plan that we need to execute, right? Now, let's look at what the Song of My Heart says. I focus on growth. I am proud of my accomplishments and work hard to improve upon my successes. So I love this because she has this sort of mountain range. If you look down here at her neckline, like she's worked hard to get where she is. She has a clear perception of who she is. This is very much Queen of Wands energy too. I love how when you put her here, she's facing this Queen. I want to talk about, I get this distinct feeling when I'm looking at the blue hues of this card on the focus on growth, and then I look at the sort of anger or the frustration, the yellow, which would be maybe more intellect, thinking or dwelling on a situation that doesn't necessarily bring us like great pleasure, that sort of a thing. There's power in both of these cards, but I like how they sort of balance each other out. I like how this one woman is staring at the Queen of Wands. To me, I feel like this Queen of Wands might be based a little bit in the past. If there's something we're dwelling upon or we're focusing on upon where we were hurt, the Hermit energy tells me, like, go inside and find the answers for that, right? Free up this Queen is the feeling that I want to say. That's the focus on growth. This idea of understanding how strong we are, not necessarily letting the past hold us into places where we still are hurt by it, still annoyed or angered by it. We're kind of, I almost feel like this Queen is having a hard time accessing her power in a way, right? And so when we use this, I focus on growth, these blue tones in this card make me feel like a cooling, a calming. That's also sort of more the Hermit energy, even though that Hermit had like orange color in it. If I remember correctly, this blue means like I just get this vibe that it's saying like, calm down, right? Look at where you've come from. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've accomplished. You still have this queen aspect about you. You still have this innate ability to sort of plan and take action, to hear the higher calling, to hear the higher messages or the more subtle messages of within yourself. And you can make this plan from a place that is grounded and stable and aware um, in your capabilities, if that makes sense. That's also the focus on the growth card. So let me see what's going on for the grounding stone. The grounding stone is on Tiger's Eye, and it is generosity. So I think this is about being kind to ourselves. I really feel like seeing the Hermit twice in 2 days in this week's readings says to us that we need to take this time for ourselves to sort of look at things, reflect upon things. We're seeing this focus on growth. We've got to remember too that the grounding stone for the week is this idea of clarity, finding the sense of clarity. I think that there's something that this Queen of Wands is not maybe able to access or see clearly about herself, meaning there's a part of us that we might not be able to give freedom to or to acknowledge. Maybe we feel limited in some way. I feel like she's trying to remind us that we have this aspect to ourselves, and to be able to reinvigorate her, wake her up, live from her, if that makes sense. But we need to go inward to sort of find it. We need to concentrate on our growth. We need to be generous with ourselves and our experiences. We need to be kind to ourselves and allow ourselves sort of the freedom to, I don't know if it's like sort of break free from whatever hinders us, break free from whatever has harmed us or hurt us in the past, and sort of let that go. And that in and of itself would be taking action, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be a verbal action where we say to a situation or a person, by the way, I'm not talking to you, I'm done with this. You know, this could be more about we just quietly retract and do it from a state of being kind to ourselves. It doesn't really necessarily matter about them and their reaction. I hope that makes sense for you guys. If it doesn't, then it might be for somebody else, but it feels kind of a little bit, this energy feels rather specific today. So if there's some of you that are sort of feeling, I don't know, invalidated, hurt, pushed aside, maybe dwelling in the past a little bit, and that could be the Hermit energy too as you're digging through it, but that's okay. I think what you're uncovering here is the magic of not only your growth that you've maybe been through, and there's an opportunity to focus on that and be kind and generous to yourself as you look at those things, but also I feel like we're kind of re-releasing this Queen of Wands, or we're reawakening her within ourselves. So remember that she's there, and she's an asset rather than a detriment. And if there's a part of you that feels that it's been missing, I have a feeling she's kind of hiding in there and ready to come back whenever we're ready to receive her. That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it out if you'd like, and subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see how this energy grows. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.